What's going on, guys? Welcome back to this week's first and only exclusive segment from the greatest podcast on turf. We are very sorry for the disappearance. It is all this guy's fault, so blame him. So for this episode, we are going to be doing our yearly prediction episode. It's a little bit too late in the week to do a best bets. A little bit too weak. Fantasy's over, so no more startup setups. We are going to be doing our yearly award predictions.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, I'm Anthony, and that's Ryan. Sorry about the disappearance. I was on vacation, had a COVID scare, we couldn't really be in contact. I'm COVID negative now, I'm clean, we're all good, healthy, family's recovering, we're all recovering. With that being said, don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you're new. I'm so glad to be back. Believe me, I've been chomping at the bit, texting this guy all week. Talking about I'm ready, I'm testing, let's go. I'm ready to go. We're back with our NFL yearly award predictions. Tomorrow starts the final week of the regular season. Next week starts playoffs. So what better time to do yearly award predictions because last week was probably the last meaningful week for the season. So you guys say it now. So what better time? Before we get into anything though, the greatest podcast on turf studio coming soon. Probably by the end of this month, definitely sometime in February, maybe by the end of this month. We're still working, trying to finish setting up and everything. Should we tell them about tomorrow night?
Might as well.
Well, there will be tonight. We'll be at the Eagles-Cowboys game, running a giveaway. Follow us, click the link below to our Instagram. We're going to be posting where we're at, where we're running the giveaway. We are running the giveaway live in person. So, if you can't go, sorry, you'll get in the next one. But we are going to be at the Eagles game. So if you're at the Eagles game, come say what's up to your boys. We'll be there. We'll have the whole gang with us. All the boys are going to be there, tailgating. Go Eagles.
Sounds good.
But yeah, none of that giveaway studio or anything, though, would be possible without our amazing sponsor.
Little Italy Pizzeria. They got the best cheesesteaks, the best pizza in all of Delaware. 2 locations. One of those is in Middletown, Delaware. One of those is in Townsend. We are currently sitting in the one in Townsend right now. It is a great place, great food, great people, great prices. You can see the bar right now. There's booths, there's a bar. Can't see the bar, but come in, bring the family, let them know that the greatest podcast on turf sent you. They will take care of you. Show proof that you are subscribed, and they will hook you up with a discount, just like we will on the giveaway tomorrow night at the Eagles game, tonight at the Eagles game. Show proof that you're subscribed, and we will put you in for a jersey giveaway.
Yeah, what better way to start than the prestigious MVP of the season award? I feel like there's really 2 answers that it could be. We were kind of divided with this one, but I'll let you start with yours because yours is the more I don't know. Go ahead and start with yours.
I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say it's Jonathan Taylor this year of the Indianapolis Colts. And usually the NFL gives it to quarterbacks, so I'll most likely be wrong. But I don't care about being wrong as long as it's right to me. And Jonathan Taylor has been way more valuable to his team than Aaron Rodgers has so far this season. Jonathan Taylor is by far the best running back in football right now. With Derrick Henry being out, Jonathan Taylor has done everything. He leads the NFL in all rushing categories that you could possibly imagine. Dude's a monster. 100-yard games every single week, it seems like. He is the whole entire offense for the Colts. And you can argue that for Aaron Rodgers. But Jonathan Taylor, I think if you take Jonathan Taylor off that team, they are definitely not in the playoffs. They're probably one of the worst teams in football. Quarterbacks, Carson Wentz. This team relies on Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor is their whole entire offense, and he is part of their defense because he is what keeps the defense off the field. He is what keeps the defense rested. If you take out Jonathan Taylor, this team is in shambles. Now, you can mention the offensive line being what carries Jonathan Taylor, but we seen just the other week, the whole entire offensive line was out, and my man still put up 100 yards. Literally, the whole entire offensive line was out.
Yeah.
And he still did it. So, I'm going with Jonathan Taylor.
And I'm going to go ahead and go with the counterpart. I'm going Aaron Rodgers here just because it's a quarterback award. The way I see it is if Derrick Henry went for 2,000 yards and didn't win MVP, I don't think Jonathan Taylor wins it this year.
Derrick Henry should have won it.
And I'm saying he should have won it, but he didn't. So that alone kind of just goes why I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers. I know Aaron Rodgers, he's not really having the year that he had last year. So, Jonathan Taylor does have that going for him. I think last year he threw almost 50 touchdowns. This year he's got about 30 with 4 interceptions. He doesn't have the most yards either, but he's just a different bigger. He's playing on the toe injury. What is it, a sprained toe?
Broken toe.
Broken toe. He had the whole vaccine controversy happened, which just sounds like some people aren't voting for him because his whole vaccine thing.
And that's working for JT also.
Yeah, even though it's friggin' stupid. But yeah, I think honestly the reason I just took this one, it was kind of took the easy way out just because I think that's what'll happen. History shows that the MVP is a quarterback award. So I mean, Aaron Rodgers has that going for him. I mean, all signs are kind of pointing to Jonathan Taylor. This could be the year that a running back does it. This could be the year that he does it because how good he's been and because Aaron Rodgers only has 30 touchdowns compared to 48, 50, 45, what he had last year. I mean, Aaron Rodgers could get a few more garbage time this week if he does play, but it sounds like we don't know if he's going to be playing or sitting or anything yet. But yeah, I went with Aaron Rodgers for the MVP of the NFL this year.
Here's my argument as to why it should be Jonathan Taylor. After he did his Aaron Rodgers spiel, that's when I'll give it. So Anthony, I need you to cooperate with me on this one. NFL, I need you to answer this question for me also, and if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But let's do a scenario, right? Let's take who is the most average quarterback in football?
Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins. So who is the most average running back in football? Just think of an average guy. It doesn't matter.
Miles Sanders or Josh Jacobs.
All right, so take out Aaron Rodgers, put in Kirk Cousins. How many wins does that team have? On the Packers. I think they still give you 9 to 10 wins.
What's Minnesota have right now? 7, 8?
Mm-hmm.
I would say probably 7, 8, 9 wins.
Now take out Jonathan Taylor and put in Josh Jacobs. How many wins does that team have? I think like 4.
Yeah.
That's my argument. It's probably gonna be a quarterback, but that's my argument.
You could also argue though that that running back's not as valuable a position as quarterback.
Well, yeah, that's why I took the average, because most people will say take out Aaron Rodgers and take out Jonathan Taylor, the Colts are gonna be better. Well, yeah, obviously, because it's harder to replace a quarterback, but that doesn't mean that they are more valuable to their current team. Because, like I said, if you replace them with average, the Colts are a worse football team.
That's fair.
Than the Packers.
That's a good analogy way to look at it. I like that a lot, actually. And offensive player of the year. I guess I'll go and just keep mine short and sweet.
Yeah.
My offensive player of the year was Jonathan Taylor, just because, like I said, this is the way I could see it shaping out. But another guy who I do see in contention for this award, and I think that if Jonathan Taylor does win MVP, I think this guy who Ryan's about to talk about is going to get offensive player of the year.
Oh, Cooper Kupp. He is the Rams' everything. He is going to probably break records this year if he plays this next week. He said he feels bad about it because he had a 17-game season, but he's better than any receiver this year in terms of what he has done. He has the most receiving yards by about 300. I'll pull it up right now. He probably has more touchdowns than everybody else also. Let's take a look. He has most receiving yards by about 300. He has, looks like the most touchdowns. He with 15.
He's got
15.
Yeah.
About 300 more receiving yards than the next guy. He averages 114 yards a game. There's nobody that's really touching Cooper Kupp in terms of production this year.
Respectfully.
Nobody even close. So yeah, Cooper Kupp I think should be Offensive Player of the Year. I'll most likely be wrong because it will be Aaron Rodgers being the MVP. Jonathan Taylor will most likely be the Offensive Player of the Year. But Cooper Kupp has been lights out. He's leading the league in receiving yards. He's leading the league in receiving touchdowns. I think he's been a huge part of this Rams offense with Robert Woods not really panning out and getting hurt. Odell Beckham Jr. coming in late. Cam Akers getting hurt. It just didn't really work out for this Rams offense. Matt Stafford was 100,000% looking for Cooper Kupp, and that led to success. That led to the offense being one of the best offenses in football. He has 800 yards after the catch, and the next closest guy, let's take a look at this one. 700 with Debo, but Debo's a running back, so that don't even count. And then 200 with Jamar Chase. So, I mean, Cooper Kupp is beaten in pretty much every single stat. He was the fantasy wide receiver 1 this year. Not that that matters, but production-wise alone, it should be Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, and like I said, if Jonathan Taylor does win MVP, I think Cooper Kupp will get Offensive Player of the Year over Rodgers. Moving on, though, we got Defensive Player of the Year. I'm pretty sure, what was this, the consensus? Greatest podcast on turf, Defensive Player of the Year. TJ Watt, his play speaks for itself. He's probably going to break the sack record Sunday. And I mean, that's pretty much my whole argument.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I wouldn't have went with TJ Watt if Micah Parsons was not a rookie and if Micah Parsons I forget the word, but TJ Watt, he has 21.5 sacks. He's doing everything he can this year. If you look at the advanced stats, it should be Micah Parsons because Micah Parsons doesn't rush as much as TJ Watt. His win percentage is better. But with Micah Parsons being a rookie and most likely getting this award in the future, getting a rookie defensive player of the year this year, I don't think they're going to give him the defensive player of the year. TJ Watt got absolutely snubbed last year, so they have to make it right with him. They have to give it to him this time. 21.5 sacks is nothing to be laughed at. But he's a stud. He's really the only thing on his defense anymore because they are in shambles.
Yeah.
The only thing on the defensive line, he carries his team. He puts them in games. So TJ Watt deserving an award is legit.
I'm baffled about how Robert Quinn has 18 sacks
But he's been balling out.
without Khalil Mack
Nobody
on the
thinks
other
about
side.
Robert Quinn.
Is their secondary that good to the point Robert Quinn has 18 sacks?
Their secondary's not that good at all.
I don't know how Robert Quinn has 18 sacks. Matthew Judon should be number one for defensive player of the year.
He's not even over Micah.
I know. Speaking of rookie of the year, though, I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys my offensive rookie of the year.
Oh boy.
And I bet you already know who I'm taking as the offensive rookie of the year. I'm going with my boy Mac Jones, Michael McCorkle Jones, Mac Jeezy, my boy. I'm going ahead and I'm rocking with Mac Jones here. Listen, the fact of the matter is Mac Jones has been balling out. He's a baller. Without him, the Patriots would not be nearly as good if we had to stick with Cam Newton for another year or Brian Hoyer. The fact of the matter is I was right about Mac Jones and everything that I thought he would be. I was ecstatic draft night when we drafted him. I was so happy that we got him on this team, and I'm just so thankful to have him, and he's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Sorry, I was fixing my cap.
We all know how I felt about the Patriots drafting Mac Jones. If you've been here long enough, if not, go check out our NFL draft reactions video. It was a long ass time ago, but that was like the best video in the history of the greatest podcast on turf by probably 3,700 views. Our next best video is probably 1.2K. But yeah, I went with Mac Jones. I mean, it'll probably be Jamar Chase just because how good Jamar Chase has been. I mean, Jamar Chase has been out of his mind. I mean, but like I said again, is Jamar Chase, I don't know how similar of the year they're having, but if Justin Jefferson broke all Randy Moss's records last year and didn't win it, is Jamar Chase going to win it over Mac Jones?
Who won it last year? I thought it was
Jay Herbo. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead Mac Jones. I mean, I'm not going to be pissed off if Jamar Chase wins it because Jamar Chase is an animal. I mean, Jamar Chase is he's a dog. Jamar Chase is good at that. I want him on the Patriots. But at the same time, I'm happy with Mac Jones. So I'm going to rock with my boy Mac Jeezy on this one.
I went with Jamar Chase. Justin Jefferson broke Randy Moss's records, but Jamar Chase has broke Justin Jefferson's records, or he was at least on pace to. Mac Jones, he's been solid this year, but he hasn't been Rookie of the Year in my opinion. He's more of a game manager at this point in his career. That's not saying that he can not take that next step forward, because obviously he can. But right now it's Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase looks like he can be the best receiver in football, and I mean I don't really think that's saying much. Based off this first year, he's absolutely dominant. We just saw what he did against the Chiefs. I think that's going to be a huge game when you're looking back on Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
You need a statement game late. Mac Jones hasn't had those statement games late. They're down the last two. Maybe this game against Scrubs, ain't you? No, Miami. Oh boy.
Oh boy, right.
But no, Jamar Chase, he has put those statement games in. We just saw what he did against the Chiefs. He absolutely destroyed them. I watched the game and I was like, yeah, this guy's going to be, he's going to be the real deal. So Jamar Chase being Offensive Rookie of the Year, I think is a good spot for him. And Mac Jones, I think, is number 2, and I'm not sure it's very close. Probably not very close.
I mean, if you're counting offensive linemen, I mean, you could go. If offensive lineman got love, it'd probably be Creed Humphrey, just because he's having Creed Humphrey's first team All Pro numbers.
Yeah,
I mean, Rashawn Slater's put them the good numbers. Panay Sewell, I mean, but the offensive,
cares.
Yeah, nobody cares that Creed Humphrey's got All Pro numbers, but it's
But
fine.
he's a stud.
Yeah, I'll let you take this next one.
Defense Rookie of the Year, Micah Parsons, not close.
Nope.
Nobody else really even touching him. He would lead sacks if he was an edge rusher, but he's not. He's a middle linebacker, and he's still in the top 10. Coverage, rushing, run stopping, He can do it all. He's the best rookie defensive player in the league. He can definitely be the best linebacker in the league one day. It's not saying he is now, but he's playing absolutely out of his mind.
Yeah.
And it's him and Trayvon Diggs leading his defense. And
Diggs ain't playing tonight.
no, he's not.
He didn't.
Neither's Micah. So,
Or that thing Tony Pollard.
or Curse. So,
Nice.
or Tyron Smith. So,
Nice.
it's going to be a fun
Philly, baby. I'll
fun
be
day
in.
for me.
I got Mikey's Hurts Sooners jersey that I'm
My
bringing
man
out.
Corey Clement is going to get touches against Philly.
Revenge game.
Revenge.
Corey Clement revenge game. Who do we got next? Coach of the year.
I'll let you go.
For you, obviously, like I said, for my defensive rookie of the year, it was Micah. For coach of the year, Bill Belichick. Not close. Nobody can hold his nuts. It's like, nah.
No.
If Bill Belichick wasn't good every year, it would be Bill. But I went ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and go different here. I'm liking Zach Taylor this year, coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, I mean, you could argue guys like who you're gonna say, or like even Cliff Kingsbury if the Cardinals didn't fall off a cliff like I thought they would. But now I'm liking Zach Taylor.
Cardinals are back.
The Cardinals.
J.J. Watt is
The
back.
Cardinals blow.
J.J. Watt is back.
Anyways, but yeah, Zach Taylor. I mean, coming into the season, the Bengals had zero expectations. Everyone's like, oh, same Bengals team as last year. They drafted a receiver, didn't help the offensive line. The offensive line has been okay so far. They've been fairly healthy. They've been doing their thing, and the thing is though, they had no expectations for this team. They were I know we had them last in the division. I know we had them finishing last.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I said that they could be good for like 8, 9, 10 wins, but nobody.
I think I was around 6, 7.
Yeah, I mean, even just us in general, we had zero expectations for this team, and they came out, won arguably like the second hardest division in football behind the.
They're struggling this year, but
this division they've had an off year, but I mean, you still got coming into the season. I mean, Cleveland was our favorite behind Pittsburgh and Baltimore, who were.
There's going to be 3 teams that aren't having a losing season. It looks like.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, and there was no expectations for them. So I mean, that's why I'm gonna go ahead and take Zach Taylor here. It's really not. I mean, it's close. I feel like it's anyone's race. You could go Kyle Shanahan again, maybe, but nah. I like Zach Taylor of the Bengals. The Bengals came out. They won the AFC North. They won their division. They're a competitive team this year. Their offense is playing good. Defense is playing good. I mean, the Bengals are really a lot better than I feel like most people thought they would be, unless you're a Bengals fan. Joe Burrow, arguably comeback player of the year. T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, 2 stud receivers. They got Joe Mixon, who's been back. Offensive line's been healthy. I mean, the Bengals have been good. So I mean, I like Zach Taylor winning Coach of the Year this year, and I mean that's my pick. And when we first said Coach of the Year, he was the first coach that came to mind.
The first coach that came to my mind, Anthony might not like this one.
I do like this one because you're finally giving him credit and not the other sorry bitch that always gets credit.
I'm giving this whole team credit.
Nope.
It is Mike Vrabel and the Tennessee Titans. Mike Vrabel, he lost Derrick Henry week 8, and a lot of people, him included, did not have any faith in this football team doing anything. I personally thought they were still a playoff team, but I did not expect them to be the 1 seed in the AFC.
No.
This team is getting Derrick Henry back. They do have a bye week. They're going to be probably full stride when they first play in playoffs. But the Tennessee Titans, they have been absolutely dominant this year. They are 11-5. It has been a little bit of sloppy wins. I will give them that benefit of the doubt. But Tennessee, they have beaten really good teams in football. Nobody really notices this. Everybody really sleeps on them. But they beat the Colts twice. They beat the Bills. They beat the Chiefs. They beat the Rams. They beat the Bills, Chiefs, Colts, and Rams in four consecutive weeks. That was the run that I thought the Titans could be a legitimate football team. They also beat the 49ers. They got destroyed by the Patriots. Oh well. They also got destroyed by the Cardinals, who you think suck. But this Titans football team,
They do.
I think they're a good football team. Mike Vrabel, he has had to deal with probably the worst hand in football this season, with his star player getting hurt, with A.J. Brown being hurt all year, with Julio Jones not working out because he sucks. The Titans have had the most players play for them out of every football team in football. So yeah, I think that says enough. When your team has the most roster turnover because of COVID, injuries, and you're still putting up 11 wins, and you're still the number 1 seed, I think that speaks volumes, and I think that Mike VRABLE should be Coach of the Year.
It's fair. It's a valid argument. I feel like I said, this race is definitely up in the air. There's a number of guys that could win it. And moving on to our final.
Comeback Player of the Year.
I mean,
3-horse race. Probably 2.
Yeah. I went ahead and kind of steered away from the hot hand here. I'm going defense, and I'm going with Nick BOSA. Nick BOSA, he missed all last year. He only played 2 games last year. This year he's playing out of his mind. I mean, just to bring up numbers, he's got, this season, he has 15 sacks, 47 tackles, 30 QB hits, 20 tackles for loss. I mean, that's pretty good numbers coming off of, I'm not sure exactly what his injury was, but
I think ACL maybe.
I'm going to say, yeah. Coming off of ACL, that's pretty good for an edge rusher. Coming back, I mean, teams know he's still a dominant guy. Teams are keen on him. And, I mean, for him to still come off an ACL injury, put up 15 sacks, that says a lot for me. I mean, I know he probably won't win it just because the next guy, Ryan's pick, is a friggin' GOAT. He's a killer. But I would like Nick BOSA here. This was hard for me. I didn't want to go ahead with him. I feel like the third guy in this race hasn't really been all that in a bag of chips. That's why I didn't say him. But I mean, just thinking, like, I looked up a list of players that were injured last year, went down the list. I mean, Nick BOSA was just a name that stood out to me just because how good he was his rookie year. Yeah, it was my dad. Just how good he was his rookie year. So, I mean, that alone, that says a lot. So, I mean, he had a bounce back year similar to his rookie year. So, I like Nick BOSA for this one.
My Comeback Player of the Year. The third guy that we're talking about is Dak Prescott, but in my opinion, he hasn't done enough to separate himself from these other 2 guys. I think Nick BOSA is the number 2, and I think the number 1 is Joe Burrow. Personally, my man's been balling out. He's coming off of a completely destroyed knee. Putting up numbers. He won one of the hardest divisions in all of football. He's going to the playoffs as his first, as his rookie season, pretty much.
Sounds like he's going to probably, if standings stay the same, he's probably going to see New England. In Cincy, though. I mean,
so it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
But yeah, Joe Burrow, he's been balling out. He came off an absolutely destroyed knee. He's one of the top quarterbacks this year. He is one of the top guys in the MVP race. People are ranking him over my man Jonathan Taylor. But Joe Burrow, he's been balling out this season. I think you got to give him respect. Comeback Player of the Year, I think, is good for him. This trio that they got is going to be huge.
Yeah.
Even 4, if you throw in Joe Mixon. The Bengals are looking good for the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
Cincinnati might be on their way to a Super Bowl. Probably not.
Maybe in the near future.
Just because it's Cincinnati, I have my doubts. But respect to Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Respect to the GM that drafted Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
We all gave you shit for it, but props to you.
You did it.
Granted, he's still one of the most hit quarterbacks in football. So
fair, but
this is the year that you need to give him a lineman. But still, props to you for getting his man Jamar Chase, and it's worked out. So, yeah.
And I think that's going to wrap this one up.
Yep.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for details on the giveaway tomorrow. Check out the podcast. We talked about a lot. We have, 2 weeks worth of shit to catch up on. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys back on Tuesday. Next week. We're going to be back with our regularly scheduled uploads. Different type of videos because fantasy's over. We're going to bring back some new stuff. We'll see what happens, and we'll see you guys next week. Everybody have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys on Tuesday.
See you.